There we go. Make sure it's down as well. All right. So we are recording now. Yep, cool. So let me bring this guy over here because I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Okay, so blueprints. We're going to go to our blueprints folder in our content browser right here at the bottom. And in our blueprints folder, we're going to create another folder. So we're going to right click in the this block right here, and we're going to say new folder. We're going to name this interactive cube actors. See, for me, the Nintendo 64 version was pretty awesome. It's probably one of my favorite Zelda games. And then, of course, the very first two were dear to my heart because, like, I was like 11 and 12 years old when they came out, and you know, I had to like mow so much grass and paint so many houses so that I could buy the game, and it was still $60 back then.
Do you still own it, the Nintendo 64?
My brother has all our old consoles and all that. All right, so interactive cube actors. We're going to open up that folder. We're going to go inside there. And if you want, you can give it a cool color. It doesn't matter. So here, I'll do color, new color. Let's see, we'll do about like nice purple. There we go, cool. Okay, so inside the cube actor, interactive cube actors folder, we're going to right click in there. We're going to say new blueprint class. And it's going to be an actor. We're going to name this BP underscore interactive cube. And okay. All right, we'll open that guy up. We're going to go to the left where it says components, and we're going to add a new component. And the new component we're going to add is a scene component. So I'm typing in scene in the search bar. And I'm going to select the scene, obviously. I'm going to rename it to root. And with it renamed to root, I'm going to drag that scene on top of our default scene root to replace it. And that gets rid of the sphere inside of Viewport, right? We don't want that sphere. We've done this pretty much for every single blueprint, so you guys should be pretty familiar with doing that process. File and save. And then we'll add a new component, and this one will be cube. So you can see right here, basic shapes cube. We're going to select that guy. And we'll rename it to interactive cube. So that's what it's going to be. All right, with the cube selected in our components panel, with the cube selected, we're going to go to the details panel on the right side. We're going to scroll down to the physics category, and we're going to click simulate physics. We're going to say that's true. And I think that's all we're going to do. Oh, we want to make sure that this is yes, this is checked. So under collision, we want to make sure the generate overlaps is checked. Character can step on, yes is checked, that's fine. And collision preset is set to physics actor, which it should do automatically when you click simulate physics. You can see when I click this, it changes it to physics actor. All right, that all looks good. Let's add us, well, let's compile and save that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the construction script, and we're going to do a little bit of logic. So right here in construction script tab, we're going to click on that guy. And inside our construction script, we're going to grab the interactive cube from the components panel and add it to our construction script. Then we're going to, I think it's set world scale, This one right here, set world scale. Then I'm gonna drag out of the interactive cube again. And I'm gonna type in get world scale. Get world scale. Okay, now what I'm going to do, or what we want to do, is we want to get the scale of the cube as it is right now, and we're going to expose a value so that we can adjust the scale or the shape, the size of the cube, however we want to, without having to go into the code, right? We can just do it with some numbers. All right, so first we have to get whatever it is right now. So we're basically getting the current value. So I'm gonna drag out from here and I'm gonna type in plus, the plus symbol. And with that plus symbol, I'm gonna select vector plus vector. And then I'm gonna come out of this other yellow vector. I'm gonna come out of the pen there. And I'm gonna say promote to variable. And I'm gonna rename that variable scale. We'll do, cube scale offset. All right, then we're just going to connect this guy right here. So basically the idea is we're going to get the current value of the cube, and then we're going to allow a designer, that's going to be us for now, but we're going to allow a designer to offset that scale to whatever they want, and that's going to be the new scale. Make sense? So we need to connect our execution pin of our construction script to this set world scale 3D node. And then a little bit of cleanup to make it look good. Sure, something like that. Looks great.
So this blueprint only lets us to manipulate the interactive cube?
Yes, it only manipulates the interactive cube, and it does it only before the game begins. So this is a construction script. So we're like constructing the interactive cube before the game begins.
Oh, okay.
All right, so one last thing we need to do, we're going to go to our blueprints panel here on the left. We're going to go to the variables category. Inside the variables category is our cube scale offset. We're going to click this eyeball, and that's going to expose that variable, that offset variable, so that we can manipulate it. So let me show what that looks like. So if I drag this into our scene, you can see right here under default, I have this cube scale offset. That's our variable. Now, if I close this eyeball, compile, and now you'll see that I do not have that scale offset anymore in our details panel because it's not exposed, right? It's a private variable that only can be used in our code. And now that I've exposed it, it can be used outside of our code. And here it is again. So make sure you have the eyeball selected. And with that set, compile and save, throw one into our scene real quick so we can take a look at what it does. So here's our shape of our cube. And let's say maybe I want it to be very, very tall. So I'll do like maybe 300 for our Z. And now you can see that our cube is just this like ridiculously tall cube now, right? Because I've offset it by 300. Maybe I want to actually, we'll zero that back out. Maybe I want it to be very, very thin, like a platform. So I could do like negative, we'll do what, negative 90 maybe. Oh, what am I doing? What did I do wrong? Cube scale offset. Okay, well said. Do something wrong. Let's see, what am I doing wrong? Why isn't that point smaller? Oh, sorry, it needs to be point. That's right, sorry. Point 0.9. Yes, 0.9. There we go. There it is. Yeah. Because the value is already, the value is 1 right now. So I did negative 90, so it just went past it. But we can go less than 1. So there. Cool.
I'm not seeing this cube scale offset appear when I put my cube into the editor.
Okay, no problem. What you need to do is turn this eyeball on right here.
Yeah, I did. That's why I'm confused.
Oh,
Did
you
you-
need to go to the details panel. I think you're in the
Oh.
wrong setting.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. That was it.
All right, cool. Awesome. Okay, so we can actually get rid of that interactive cube. We don't need it right now. So just select it and hit the delete key to remove it. This is going to be sort of our parent class. So we're going to make 3 different cubes. One that we can just pick up and move around however we want. One that can only be rotated, and one that can only be pushed or pulled. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to select our interactive cube in our content browser. We're going to right click that interactive cube that we've created, the blueprint we've created. And we're going to say create child blueprint class.
So if we're going to create like a hierarchy system,
Yeah, we've been doing a hierarchy system for everything we've created so far. We put code for the sprint only in the character, right? We did not put it inside the widget stuff because it's a character thing, right? The character is the one that moves faster or slower. And then, but the display of that is only in our widget itself, right? So, but it does not affect the sprint. It just displays it for us. So we've been doing that this whole time. The indicator is its own widget, right? The little pixel in the center of the screen to show kind of where the player is. That's also its own thing. So yeah. All right, so create child blueprint, and we're going to rename this to BP Interactive Cube. This first one we'll do is going to be rotation, and then we'll right click it again, the parent one, right? Not the rotation, but we'll right click the interactive cube again, create another child class, and this one will say push pull. And then the last one we'll do one more, and the last one will be pick up. Okay, so let's go to File and Save All, so we can save all those childs that we created. So it's up here in the top left, File, Save All, or Control Shift S. first go to our rotation blueprint. And by the way, there are other ways to do this, but I'm trying to show you guys how to sort of set up a hierarchy system like he's talking about, Dan. In the interactive cube rotation, you'll see now that under the components panel, it says it's inherited, right? Because the parent has these values, so it's inherited already. So if we click on the interactive cube, you'll see that it already has simulate physics check, and then it's already set to physics active because the parent has that. So with the interactive cube inherited selected, we're going to go to the physics category on the details panel. We're going to go to the constraints right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to lock the position for the X, Y, and Z. However, we will, and actually what we can do is we can also lock the Y and the Z value for rotation. So that's actually not the Z value, sorry, it's going to be the X and the Y. X and Y will be locked. So, so you can see this blue one right here. What we're going to end up doing is we're going to allow this one to rotate like this, right? But the user will not be able to pick it up. They won't be able to pick it up. They won't be able to move it. They won't be able to push and pull, nothing like that, but they can rotate it. All right. Let's do one more thing. So we'll go to, well, actually, let's do it this way. Let's see, decal, decal. Oh yeah, so so what we'll do now is we'll go to our components, add component, type in decal. So we'll select that. And then I am going to duplicate this so that I have 4 of them. Looks like one too many. That's okay. And they should be named as well. Decal 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I don't know if it's me, but like it's kind of hard to see because where you're talking about is covered by Zoom.
How dare it? So right here, add component, type in decal. Go ahead, whoever's talking. Was that Hayden?
I was going to say you can usually drag Zoom components out of the way, like the chat window. If you click at the top of it, you should be able to drag it around it out of the way if you need to.
Okay, with the first decal selected, we're going to do, as you can see, this it's taking over the whole box here. We're going to shrink it down so that it only covers one side. And to be honest, this is not the best way to do things, but it's okay. We'll survive. Oh my gosh. I'm going to change my scale options to something more reasonable. That's so annoying. That's close enough. And then do the same thing for the next one, but it's going to be on a different side, right? Like be only on this side. And since I'm actually lazy, I'm too lazy to do all of them. I'm just gonna duplicate this guy, and then I'm gonna move him over here. And then I'm gonna duplicate the next guy. And I'm going to move him over here. And then I'm going to duplicate the last guy. Oops. Cool. We have decals on every single side now. So as the user rotates it, it'll rotate those decals. So later we'll come back and actually add decals to all we'll add decal materials and we'll change those material colors so that you can like set up a puzzle where you can be like, hey, you need to match the colors or whatever the case may be in order for this to work correctly. Okay, so that we'll leave that alone. That looks good. We'll come back to it later. We're going to close the rotation now. We're going to go to our push-pull. So let's go to that guy. We're going to click on the interactive cube for that one. We're going to go to the same physics category in the details panel, same constraints area. This time we're going to lock the rotation and we'll lock the Z and we'll only leave the X, which will be the red this way. So all of them are locked except for the X. Let's have a little bit more fun with the art of this. So let's add, let's see what we'll do. We'll do a cylinder maybe, cylinder. I'm gonna grab that cylinder. I'm gonna rotate it this way. And I'm gonna shrink the guy down. And this way. Sure, looks great. Bring that over. And then, oops, I can't do it that way. This is duplicate it, rotate. Basically, I'm making a handle. You haven't figured that out yet. And then I'll duplicate that guy. I'll move them over here. Cool. What's that? A sphere, maybe? Sphere. Perfect. Much too big. Oh my gosh. Oh, oops. Cool. My camera's too fast. Slow the camera down a little bit. And we'll move this guy right there. No, snaps. How dare you? Okay, let's try 5. There we go, looks better. And then this way. And then this way. And then one of those, and a few of these. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Perfect. And then I'll duplicate it. Cool. Now I'm gonna grab all these guys. I'm gonna duplicate them. I'm gonna drag them over here, maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. And then I'm gonna rotate those guys. No, it doesn't work like that. Oh, walk, 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 walk. Okay, let's do this. Let's do component, scene, cool. I'll put it right here. I'm gonna grab all these guys. I'll put them right there. And now I'm gonna, what will I do? I'm going to duplicate all those guys. Perfect. And now I'm gonna grab the scene component and just rotate it. Something cool like that. Well, it's not perfect. It's okay. This ball is so bad. It's not even in the right spot. Cool. Have some fun building a little handle. And anyway, the player will grab the interactive cube, but they'll think that they're grabbing the handle, right? And then they'll be able to push it this way and pull it that way. And because the handles are a child of the cube, they go wherever the cube goes, right? Compile and save that. Of course, we're building this in Maya, right? It would not look like this.
I guess I missed how you parented it. How did you parent it again?
It's a child. Here, what I'll do is I'll grab these guys. I'm just going to connect it like that. I'm going to go to scene. I got these guys and do that.
Oh, you just drag it into the hierarchy so that it. Okay.
Yeah, they're just children of the cube itself. So,
Okay.
and the player is going to mess with the cube, and so wherever they, just like the decals we just did, right? So wherever the cube goes, those handles that I created go as well.
Okay.
Okay. Last one. Let's go to our pickup. Open that guy up. And the pickup, we're going to select the interactive cube. And let's change the static mesh from cube to, I forget which cube it is. Let me type in cube. It's like with cube 01. No, that doesn't look right. I mean, you can change it to whatever you want. I thought there was a chamfered cube, but I could be wrong.
It says 1M cube chamfer.
Did I miss it? Where's it at? Oh yeah, that one. There, that's it. Cool. Compile and save that. But the constraints, we're gonna leave all the constraints open, right? Because the user will be able to pick this up and move it wherever they want, and they'll need to be able to rotate it as well as while they're holding it, right? Because it'll look really weird while they're rotating, but the cube is like staying like this and it's not rotating, you know. It'll look like a robot. Okay. So now that I've lured you in with the art, let's do some coding, right? Actually, what we can do is we'll do this decal. So let's go to the art folder. We're gonna, in our content browser, we're in the main level editor now, art folder, content browser. We're gonna right click and we're gonna go new folder. And this one will be, materials. So we're gonna create a parent material for our decal, and then we'll just change the color. So open this guy up. We will right click inside the folder. We'll go to materials and textures, and we will go to material. I think it's material. And we'll name this basic color decal underscore matte. And I will be honest with you guys, I don't do materials that often. So if I mess this up, I blame aliens. All right, so let's open that guy up. So now we're in the material editor, this whole new thing, but it's not too crazy. Okay, so we still have our toolbar at the top. We still have our file edit and all that. Our viewport is a little bit different. It's right here on the left instead of like being a tab to open up. That's because we want to be able to see what changes happen as we're changing the material. Our details panel is over here on the left instead of on the right, and our palette for all the things that we can do is over here. And that palette is very similar to this context menu. Okay, so first thing we want to do is go to our details panel, and we want to change this material from a surface type, which is just like a regular material, to a deferred decal, right? And I think we can get away with translucent, opaque. I think all this is fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out of here, and we're going to type in, I think it's 3D vector, 3D color vector, something like that. Color. What is it? Not particle color, is it? No, that's not right. Color, vertex color, I think. No, it's not the right one either. Oh my gosh, I fail. What is this called? What is it called? Something vector. Vector parameter. Oh my gosh, that's what it is. Okay, vector parameter. This one right here. And we'll rename this to color. And we'll apply. Current materials. It's fine. What issues do you have? When the big resolution, is that what it needs to be? I'm not sure. I think that's right. Oops. Okay, so let's see if that's right. We'll see. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our interactive cubes. We're going to go to our rotation cube. We're going to go to the decal and we're going to type in basic decal, color decal. And we'll check to see if that looks right. Oh no, it does not look right. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, that's cool. It does work. Okay, so what it needs to be is deferred decal, translucent, translucent. I thought for sure you could do opaque, but I guess not. Mass? No. Translucent, translucent, translucent. That's fine. Cool. And there we go. We have black. Yes.
Quick question. If we made the other decals children of the first decal, could we change their decal materials all at once?
Yes. So you're on to what
Okay.
I'm about to do. So you see that we've exposed, or we've created a parameter right here, right? Which is basically a variable. So
Yep.
we'll be able to go into what's called an instance of this material and create instances. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see, what we'll do is we'll save this and we'll actually come back to that rotation. Let's go to our main. We're going to go to the materials folder and I'm going to right click our basic color, basic color decal underscore matte. And we're going to say create material instance. And we'll rename this one to, let's say, purple, because I like the color purple. And then we'll do another one and we'll name this one red. And maybe we'll do another one and we'll do like a green. So I'm just getting rid of the word instance, even though actually I probably should have it, but it's okay. And then let's see, we need 4. Let's do one more color, maybe a yellow or something. All right, and then we'll save those. And then I can just double click that material instance. So right now I'm going to double click the yellow one. And when I do, you can see in the details panel of this material instance editor that I have this variable that if I click this, it exposes it, right? Global vector parameter value. And I can click on this and I can change the color to the yellow that I want and hit OK and save it. And then I can go back to the main editor. I can go to my red and click on the color variable, change to red, hit OK, save, go back to the main editor, click on purple, color, change that one to whatever we want. Got a nice deep purple, it's kind of cool. And then our green. Perfect. And then you should have your 4 colors for your rotation. Of course, they're not tied in yet. We have to go to the rotation blueprint and add in those colors. But you should have them available now.
But I'm not getting any type of color.
Did you use a vector parameter in the basic details material?
I can
Does it
share and
look
share.
yellow? Okay, yeah. As soon as we do this share thing, though, it's gonna break. That's okay. Oh, you know what? Let me stop. Okay, so you should have 4 colors, all
Right.
set up as their own instances. This is for Dan too. I think he was asking that as well. All right, so we're going to go back to our interactive cube actors folder. We're going to go back to this, the rotation one where we created those decals. And oh, you know what? My decals are numbered incorrectly, so let's fix that. And then we'll go to the individual decal, and where we go to the decals category, where it says decal material, we're going to change that to each one having their own color. So there's green, decal, red. Oh, sorry, actually decal, red. And then we'll do the next one. And we'll do decal, purple. And one more, decal, yellow. I think that's all the right colors. Let's take a look. Yeah, cool. It's kind of a cheesy way to like add materials to a basic object. I highly don't recommend it, even though that's
Mine's
exactly
still
what we
showing
did.
the default like mossy tiles.
Did you select the decal material with the new material?
I believe so.
And is your material the master material set to transparency and deferred decal, material domain, deferred decal, blend mode, translucent, decal, blend mode, translucent.
Ah, that might be it.
How are you able to change the color on the blueprint?
Did you make the color a vector
Okay,
parameter?
that fixed it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I did on
Okay.
all 4 of them.
Okay, so we'll open it up and you should have color right here, like this. And you just need to click the checkbox. Do you see it, Dan?
Damn.
For me, it was also whenever I clicked on the color, I had to click on the not any of the actual colors right there when you click on it. I had to click on the one right next to the dropper. It looks like a smaller version of the color wheel. Clicked it on there, and I could actually change the base color on the whole thing. For whatever reason, it wasn't taking it the other way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not letting me change. It's not. I don't see the color default. I don't see the color on the thing.
And in the master material, you have a vector parameter connected to base color, like I have here.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to share your screen?
Yeah.
And we're back. So one more time, if you haven't already, you're going to click File, Save All. And everyone can still see my screen, right? So I don't have the yellow border anymore, so it makes me concerned. Not head nods to those in the video on. You can see the screen.
Yeah, we can see
Okay,
it.
cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're good. Well, I'm
Okay.
good.
All right. We got that. Oh, okay. So now to write some code. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on the our characters. So let's go to the blueprints folder. This BP underscore first person character, the one we worked on before, and close all these other guys. We don't need those anymore. Yes, and then those. And what we're going to do, if I go to the viewport here, is we're going to do a couple things. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to drop a scene in front of the player here, right? So if I'm the player, I'm the character, and if you're looking at, hopefully you're looking at my camera, maybe not, but I'm going to drop a scene component right in front of me. This is where the cube is going to be when we grab it, when we rotate it, whatever the case may be, right? So it's going to be like just this thing in front of the player. So the player has a sense of like, yes, I'm holding this cube. And actually we could put it like here if we want, or at the height of their shoulder blades, or whatever the case we want to do, right? So that's the first thing we're going to do. And that's where the cube is going to snap to when we're interacting with it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create like this laser beam, what's called line trace, okay? And what this, it's a laser beam that's checking every single frame to see if it makes a hit, right? And of course, let's say that my drink here is the, wow, my drink is blurred out, that's crazy. Let's say that the laser beam hits it, right? And then we allow the user to interact with it. So it's exactly the same as the flashlight, or sorry, the light switch you created, where we had to be inside the trigger volume. It's going to be the same idea, but the difference is now that trigger volume is like this laser beam. It's always shooting out wherever the player is looking, right? And if they're close enough, then we say, yep, you can grab that cube now and you can snap it to you, and then you can do whatever you want with the cube, right? So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a physics handle. So we're going to go to the components tab, components panel, add components, and what we want is physics handle. Oh my gosh, physics handle, this one right here. And we can just leave it named physics handle. That's absolutely fine. And all this does is just allows us to interact with physics actors. Okay, so if you remember, when we created our interactor cube, we were very careful to make it a physics actor right here, physics actor. See, so we create that physics handle so that we can interact with physics actors. Okay, so what else do we need? We need to add a scene component in front of the camera. What we're going to do is we're going to select the camera. So select the camera. We're going to go to add component. We're going to type in scene. And we're going to just add that. And we're going to rename the scene component to a grab handle. And you can see right now, it placed it right in front of the camera. That's way too close. We gotta like push it out a little bit. So I'll give you guys a chance to add your grab handle as a child of the camera, the first person camera. It should look exactly like that. So wherever the camera moves, this child thing will be there too. And it's just gonna be, allow us to grab stuff and then we'll snap to that.
Do we just kind of make a guesstimate on where we think the cube would be on
Yeah.
moving that little thing?
Yep. So you got it. You guys are on the ball. So we're just going to move it out front right now. Just right there is fine. It doesn't matter where for now. When we get into actually like playing it and we're grabbing the cube and we're picking it up and it's like covering the entire camera, we'll probably need to move it.
It seems to have duplicated my camera for me.
Well, if that happened, if you maybe hit Control W like this, you have two cameras, then delete one of the cameras. You should only have one first person camera.
It shows it as the grab handle, like the camera is the grab handle, because I searched for scene, correct?
Yes, you should have a grab handle. That's this guy right here, and the first person camera. That's this guy right here.
It looks like it just duplicated the camera. Okay, I'll try it again. And it's just seen on its own when I'm pulling it.
Yeah, scene component, and you just click on it, and it adds it. See? Bacon handle. And then maybe we need some egg handles. Put another scene. Egg handle. And then we need some cheese. I'll do another scene. Yep. Cheese handle. Y'all making me hungry. It's all your
Okay.
fault, Rob.
I know it's on my phone. Like I got to work.
Cool.
So I'm supposed to move it out in front of him.
Say that again.
I'm just supposed to move it out in front of the person.
Yes,
the interactive person.
yes. It should be in front of our character. So I'm looking at him from the side. It's just kind of out in front of the collision sphere.
Okay.
All right, compile and save that. And let's go to our event graph. So I'm going to go below all this because we need some room to work. We're actually going to, I mean, hopefully you guys saw how much room we needed to do this, the stamina stuff. We're going to need lots of room. Okay, so I'm going to go down here to the bottom. And let's see. The first thing we need to do is we'll get right mouse. So I got an echo going on. Hello, echo. I'm going to mute everyone. Everyone's talking. I'll let you, Rob. Got you. No big deal. Okay, so we're going to right click in our event graph. I'm in the event graph, right clicking, context menu. We're looking for right mouse. Mouse inputs, right mouse button. That's the one we want. All right. And then we're going to say grab interactive cube. So we're going to have a grab interactive cube, and then we're going to have a release interactive cube. So we'll right click again, and we're going to do custom event. Custom event. I hated bacon and egg this morning. We just ruined bacon, eggs, and cheese. I'm sorry, James. Hopefully you can forgive me. All right, so add custom events. And the first one is going to be grab interactive. Or actually, we could do interact. Now I like, yeah, interact with interactive cube. And we'll do another custom event. So custom event. And this will be, that's why I like the word grab, release interactive cube. That's fine. We'll leave it like that. No big deal. To leave, that's no problem, Matt. The video will probably be posted later this evening or tomorrow morning.
Oh, you make 2 custom events?
2 custom events. One is a grab or an interact with it, and the other one is to release it, right? So basically we're saying we have to have logic to say grab that object and do something with it. And then we have to have logic to say let go of it and don't do anything with it anymore. Right. And so what we can do here for right mouse is we can say, you know, that we're looking for that specific custom event, this one right here. Right. So when they press the right mouse button, they will interact with the interactive cube. And when they release the mouse button, then they release the interactive cube. Right. So of course, there's no code right now. There's nothing there. But the idea is exactly the same as our stamina bar, right? All right, so I'm going to move this release. We're going to move that down way out of the way. We're going to come back to this interact one. Let's work with this interact guy. Okay. So what do we need? Well, we'll come out of this execution pen and we're going to do line trace by, I think it's objects. What did I do? Line trace. Oh, line trace for objects. Sorry, that's what it is. Line trace for objects. So this is that laser beam. This is the logic to like shoot out a laser beam from our character, where the character is looking, and we got to set up the start position of that laser beam. Where does this laser beam start at? Where does the laser beam end? Right? What objects are we looking for? Should we check complex collision? And I think I talked about complex collision in like the first or second class, where I was talking about a chair, right? And if we make that chair have like the complex mesh be the collision, so we don't need to check this, but most of the time that's checked. And then any actors that we want to ignore, so we can create, like maybe we have a bunch of physics actors in there that interact with like the world and the character and all that, but we only want the character to look for physics actors that that are these interactive cubes. So we could add that, but right now we don't need any of that. And then this is this draw debug that's going to show us the laser beam. So we're actually, let's go ahead and change that now. We're going to say for duration. So that means as long as we're pressing right mouse, the laser beam will show up. And then as soon as we let go of the laser beam, actually, let's change it. We're going to change it to persistent. And so this one is just like we press it and that laser beam shows up forever, never goes away. So I'll show you what that looks like. And if we expand it, we can see what color the debug is. So red is like a hit, like we've actually made a hit. I'm sorry, red is, I take that back. Red is actually, we did not make a hit. It's just shooting the laser beam out. And green is saying, yes, we made that hit. Okay, so we need to get the start position of our laser beam or line. I'm going to start saying line trace from now on. Okay, so we need to get the start position of our line trace, and we need to get the end position of our line trace. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the camera, because we want the line trace to start at the camera where the player is looking, right? And then we want to shoot out that line trace a certain distance, right? So let's get the camera. And then we're going to drag out from that camera. We're going to say, give me the world position of it, right? So get world location. And then I'm just going to plug that right into the start, because that's where our line trace is going to start, at the camera, right? And then I want to get the way the player is looking. So there's a couple ways we can do that, but the easiest way in Unreal is to get the forward vector. So I'm typing get forward vector. And that's just the vector at which the camera is looking. So if you can imagine, there's this forward vector of where the camera is looking. We can also get the up vector, and we can also get what's called the right vector as well. And then there's, with that values, we can do certain things. And in this case, we're going to get the forward vector. So, and then we're going to like shoot out from that forward vector so far, however far we want. And then we're going to say that's the end point, right? So get forward vector, and we need to get the world location, and we're going to add that forward vector, right? So this is how we're getting that location, right? So we're going to say shoot out from the forward vector, and then that's our world location. That's where we want to be. So we're going to say vector plus vector. And if I did this, I went right forward vector right into this guy. Those are the same positions, right? So the world position of where the camera is and the forward vector is the same, right? Because we didn't say shoot out from the forward vector and then start there. So actually, I'm going to disconnect these, and we're going to come out from our forward vector, and we're going to say times vector times float in this case, vector times float. And we're going to say shoot out, say 500 centimeters or so. And I don't know if that's a good value or not. When we play the game, we'll adjust it, right? So maybe it's too far, and like it's sort of like a Jedi thing now, and like the cubes like sucks into the player. We might not want that. Maybe we do,
Is that vector times vector?
No, this is vector times float. Vector times float. Good question.
Okay.
So you can see it's green right here.
What's that second pen on the get world location?
This one goes to the start. This one right here is a plus.
So vector plus.
Yeah, vector plus vector. Vector plus vector. And now we can connect that into right here. Oops. No. We got to make our noodles look good. Our spaghetti's got to be perfect. Okay, so then this is the end point right here, right? So that's the end point. And again, we'll be able to adjust this. And as a matter of fact, what we can do now is we have this value of 500. We'll compile. It's complaining. We'll get to that in a second. That's all right. We're going to come out of this green guy here, and we're going to promote that to variable. And we'll say this is going to be the grab distance. Grab distance. And we're going to expose that, right? So we can give it to the designers to decide how they want it to be. Yes, like Skate 3 summoning your skateboard, exactly right. It's like force pull. It's going to suck into the player and snap right into that grab handle that we set up.
That's a pretty good function.
How did you get the last one you put in there? I don't see the get what?
This grab handle, this one,
Yeah.
all I did was come out of the green. I created a noodle coming out of the green pin, and then I promoted it to variable.
Okay, so that's what you did. Okay.
And then I named the variable grab distance, sorry. Okay. So now we're going to come out of our object types array and our line trace for objects. We're going to come out of this guy right here. All right. And I'm just going to promote that to a variable, and we can leave it named object types. That's fine. When compile and save, it's complaining again, saying, hey, there's no values in here. We look at the compiler results saying, hey, can't parse because there's no values. So we're going to go to my blueprint panel on the left. We're going to go to that object types variable we just created. We'll go to the details panel. And right here, we're going to click to add an array. Now, if you don't see this, it's because you haven't compiled. You have to compile it. All right. And what we're looking for is physics bodies, right? Because that's what we created our interactive cube as a physics body. So now it should work. We have our start position of the camera. We have a line trace that shoots out 500 centimeters and puts an endpoint from the forward vector of that camera. It's looking for physics bodies, and if it finds a physics body, it's going to give us a green draw debug line. But if it doesn't, then it'll be red. So let's test this out. So what we'll do is we'll go back to our main editor. We will just add the parent cube into the world. It doesn't matter where it's in the world, as long as the player can interact with it or be near it. I'm going to hit play, and you can see I am drawing lines by right-clicking once. And you can see the distance or how far these line traces are. So I'll go over here so we can see it. So that's the distance to be able to grab this object, right? And if I am close to a physics body object, which this cube is because this is what we made, you can see that I'm getting a hit right here. You can see this little red square that's telling me that I got a hit. And yeah, you can see it coming out of the other side where it's green. You see that? That's because I got a hit. All right, so we know now, like, cool, this is saying, yep, I found it. I found this object. Now we can do things with that, right? We can say interact with it, mess with it. All right, so let me go back to our character blueprint. And what we're going to do is we're going to say it was draw debug type. We're going to turn that to none. We don't want the player to see that, and we don't need to see it anymore because we know that it works. All right, So if we find that object type that we're looking for, the physics body, we're going to say branch right here. We're going to say, cool. If that's true that you found something, then we want to do something with it. All right. So we're going to come out of this out hit, right? Because I said, you know, if I make a hit of that physics body, then it's going to give me these values of this hit, right? So we'll come out of here and we'll say break hit results, break hit result. You don't even have to type anything. It's all the way at the bottom. All right, and I'm gonna click on this little arrow to expand out our break hit result. And you can see there's a lot of different things that we can get from that physics body interactive cube that we hit, and we can do things with it, okay? But what we want is we want to get the hit component itself. So we're gonna drag out from that guy, and we're gonna promote this to a variable so that it's a reference so we can do things with later, okay? And right now it says hit component. We're going to rename that to the interactive cube. And we're going to connect in our true execution pin to that setter that we just created. All right, and I said that, you know, if the player grabs it or presses the button to grab it, that we want to sort of suck it into our grab handle, right? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to grab our physics handle. Going to put it into our blueprint. So physics handle under our components. We'll put it into our blueprint. We're going to drag out from there. We're going to drag out a needle from there. We're going to do grab component at location. And that component is this interactive cube. So you can see right here, I have this blue pin. I go right into their component, right? And then where the grab location is where it currently is, right? So we'll do location from our hit to the grab location, right?
But how'd you get the set? I'm looking for the set, but I can't quite find it.
No problem. So I came out of the hit component.
Right.
And then I click promote to variable right here.
Okay, okay.
It's not letting me connect the set interactive cube variable to the component part of the grab component at location.
Do you have it to hit component or hit actor?
Man, I was so careful about that. I specifically knew I would do that. So I was like, okay, let's get the hit component, not the hit actor. And it's on the hit actor.
Okay, so go into your My Blueprints variables category, delete the current setter because it's set as a hit actor and not hit component, and then redo it. There are other
Okay,
ways
yeah,
to do that
thanks.
too, but that's the easiest way. So we need one more variable because I want to show you guys how right now this is set as a grab and so they have to hold the right mouse to grab it, right? But I'm going to show you guys how to set up a toggle. So if they grab it by clicking, then they're holding it, and then if they click again, then they'll release it. And sometimes it's a little bit easier for not as savvy game players. So what we're going to do is create a new variable. So under My Blueprints, variables category, variable, and we're going to name this variable is the player grabbing the interactive cube, question mark. And we've done this before. We're just going to set it as a setter and say, yes, they are indeed grabbing it. So make sure you check that block right there, right? Because they have it now, they're grabbing it. So compile and we'll save that. And I assume that everyone is ready to test. Some head nods, maybe. Thumbs up.
I'm
Yeah.
just I wasn't getting the lasers you just put in right now. Like I have everything set up, it's not giving me an error, but when I played through it doesn't show me the lines.
So on the node called line trace for objects, right here where it says draw debug type, change that to persistent. I mean,
Draw debug is persistent.
and you have do you have the grab distance value set to 500 or is it set to 0? Needs to be 500 or more.
Oh, it's gonna be at what you said? What's the distance?
500.
500. Okay. Okay, that's probably what I was missing.
Okay. Okay, so now when we go to grab it, it's not going to work, and I'll show you. So I'm gonna hit play. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna right click. You can see it does none of the things. That's no problem there. Right? Doesn't work. And the reason that doesn't work is because we are, let me go back to the blueprint. This guy, we are getting the interactive cube and setting it to the physics handle, which is this guy right here. And you can see there's no selection for it. Do you see that? There's no selection in our viewport, right? So what we need to do is we need to say, move the physics handle to the grab handle at all times. And so that it's always there. And so when I snap this physics object to the physics handle and the physics handle is snapped to the grab handle, it'll look to the player to look like they're grabbing it. So what we need to do is we can go below this release guy. We'll go below that guy and we'll type in event tick. Now remember, I told you guys before, I'm pretty certain I told you guys before that event tick fires on every single frame. So you want to do your best to not have stuff on the event tick. But there are times where you do need to have stuff on event tick. And this is one of those times, right? So every single frame, we want to be able to show the player that, yeah, you are moving the object and it is stuck to you and all that sort of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our physics handle and we're going to say set target location. Right here, set target location. And we're going to make that fire every single frame. But the location is not 0, 0, 0, right? The location is going to be our grab handle. So we'll get our grab handle, we'll say get world location and connect it into our vector, like so. And so now the grab handle is here. Every single frame, the physics handle snaps to the grab handle, whether it has an object or not, the physics handle is always there. And then when we press right mouse, the interactive object snaps to the physics handle, right? And it'll stay there because we don't have any logic to release right now. So let's see if that works. Play. Yay, I have this object, woo. Perfect. And of course, when I let go of right mouse, it does nothing. This is normal, right? Looks great. I'll show you guys how to fix that too.
It's not letting me pick up the cube.
Okay. What do you think is wrong with it? Do you have grab component at location, set to physics handle, grab location? Do you have right mouse set as interact with cube? And
Yeah.
do you have the event tick as well? With physics handle as your target, and the new location is the grab handle.
Yes.
Okay. Well, and it's still not working?
No, not. I tried it.
It's the same. And I think it's actually the same in Unity. I just haven't used Unity in a long time.
Yeah, I don't use Maya, and I'm just starting in Unity, so thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, so let's see. We have it grabbing, but we don't have it releasing. So let's see. What do we want to do? We want to go to our release custom event that we created. This guy right here, right? Actually, close the chat and everything. Super annoying. Okay. Okay. So the first thing we want to do from our release, we're going to come out of our execution pin, and we're going to type in release component. This guy right here, release component physics handle. So what that'll do is the physics handle's holding on to whatever component, and then we're going to say, hey, let go of it. And we're done. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. We need to do more stuff. So we'll come we'll grab this is the player interacting. We're going to do a setter now. We're going to say, nope, they're not, right? So we'll leave that as false. We're not messing with it anymore. And then we will get the interactive cube. We're going to get that interactive cube. And what we're going to do is we're going to check to see, is this cube valid, right? Because every single time we make a new hit, we're creating a new cube. And what happens if the player never grabs a cube at all, right? We're going to do some values here. We're going to change it, but it's going to give us errors because it can't find the cube because we never set it. So what we're going to do is we're going to right-click this cube and say convert to valid get. And so this will only fire. It will only execute the other nodes after it if it's valid. Okay, so we'll execution pin to our to our getter, and then coming out of this is valid. We're going to do set collision response to channel. Set collision response to channel. And where this target is, you can see it's blue and the interactive cube is blue. So we're going to connect those together like that. And the channel is going to be pawn. And then our new response is to be block. And so what we're doing is we're saying, hey, as soon as I let go of you, you're going to block the pawn so that it doesn't get stuck in our sphere, right? It doesn't get stuck in this little sphere that we have, our cylinder or whatever, collision cylinder. The next thing we're going to do, actually, no, I want to show you what will happen with the way it is now. So we'll click on this guy, we'll hit play. I'm going to grab our parent thing here, and I am going to go crazy and then release. Now the companion cube is gone forever. Okay, so we need to like.
So just like the real game, perfect.
Yes, exactly. Just like the real game. You can actually like the physics here is just like really crazy, right? So you can like really make it like crazy, and it'll just, I don't know, it just does weird stuff.
I'm
when I
right
asked
behind
you. When I asked you what how to get back, it's because the physics cube shot me off into space and my camera went with it.
Nice.
So
Go ahead.
I was going to ask if we're going to make it so we can make the cube respawn if it gets destroyed by either like environmental hazard or getting thrown out of the map or something?
So we can, that's one way to solve it, right? But what we're going to do instead is we're going to say, hey, as soon as we set this down, reset any velocity, so any like speed that we've given the cube as we release it to 0, so that it just like boop, plops down on the
Oh,
ground.
boo, I want to throw the cube.
So you can actually create a, you know, maybe middle mouse or something, right? To say, hey, if I hold down middle mouse, I'm like throwing it like overhand, and if I, you know, not holding middle mouse, then it's like a dropping it kind of thing, right? That's totally valid in games.
An acceptable compromise.
So what we'll do is we'll come out of our execution pin. We're gonna do set all physics linear velocity. Set all physics linear velocity. This one right here that I'm hovering over. And the target is our companion cube, sorry, our interactive cube, right? Because that's what we're resetting it as. Then we're going to do a little delay. So we're going to come out of here, we're going to do delay. And we can leave it at 0.2, that's fine. And we're also going to reset the angular dampening. So when it stops sliding, it's also like if it hits an edge or whatever, like a basketball bouncing off the board, we're just going to reset that too. So we will come out of our, actually we'll come out of our interactive cube again, and we'll do angular, oh, sorry, set angular dampening. This one right here, set angular dampening. And make sure you connect to the execution pin there as well. So that's what that should look like. And these targets are the interactive cube. Once you got it, compile and save. And I know you guys aren't done, I know. So I'm just gonna show how it looks, and then I'll bring it back that up again. So here we go, we got it, and then we set it down, and it just like behaves, right? We do all this craziness. It still kind of has like a little toss, but like you can see like it's not gonna like shoot out into outer space. Ah.
Can I hit you back later? I currently am late to go pick up my roommate.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, I'll be right back.
So if we wanted to do what you were saying earlier about doing like the alternate throw, do we basically just copy that whole release thing, but change the button?
No, you would probably have it right here. So it would be something like, well, we'd have to go into our project settings. We'd go into input. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I think you can do middle mouse without input. Let me see. Middle mouse. Oh yeah, you can totally. So we'll do, if this is pressed, we'll have a custom events. We'll do custom event. And this is just going to say, you know, overhead hand toss. And we'll make a variable row or something like overhead toss. We'll do this guy. We'll say yes. And actually, we don't even. Yeah, we do need that. No, we don't. We don't need that custom event. I take that back. So we'll do that. Do this guy. And if they're pressing it, then it's overhead toss, right? And so then we can just go right here and we'll have a branch. And if it's overhead toss, then we don't set the velocity, right? We just let it like go crazy. But if it is, so they have to let go of right mouse, but hold down middle mouse to do this. That might be like really weird. So grabbing it, holding down middle mouse, let go of it. Yay, goes into outer space. But we can change this key binding instead of middle mouse. We can change. That's where I was going to project saying we can change it to whatever we want. So maybe this is I don't know, control or something like that. So overhead toss. I don't know if we can do control. Yeah, left control. There we go. And now we'll change this. We'll do overhead toss. There we go. And now hold down control, but let go of right mouse, and it'll go into outer space.
Nice.
And if I don't hold down control and I do, it just falls normally. And of course, now we need to add a HUD element, right? So what we probably could do is we could probably make this a toggle, right? And then we need to add a HUD element that says you are currently overhead tossing now, right? Because you've toggled it on, right? So we need to go and create another widget to add to our player HUD that checks to see if this is true or not. And if it is, so right, so you just added like a ton of more work for you. So I'll tell you a secret as a developer, whenever the client comes in, you just keep your mouth shut. You don't say nothing, just whatever the client wants, and that's all he gets. He doesn't get nothing else, or she, whatever. Okay, so compile, save, that looks good. Okay, so what else do we need? I think that is everything. Now, I think that I've been missing with this. I actually think we need to change the, let's grab the, we'll grab our pickup. We'll place that in the world. We'll grab our push. And I'm gonna rotate this guy so I can actually like push it left and right. And then we'll grab our, the rotation one. So hit play. And then this guy, oh, I can only rotate it this way. Oops, I put the handles the wrong way. All right, so I'll have to fix that. But you can see I can move them left and right, but I can't move anything with them, right? This guy, I should be able to rotate. Right? But I can't do anything else. He won't move, right? Because the constraints are locked. And then this guy, actually, I think, let's go to the interactive cube pickup. And I'm going to lock the Z rotation. I think that's what I need to do. So I'll show you that in a second if that's correct. I'm pretty sure it is. No, it's not. Okay, I did something wrong. Let's see. It's one of those. Let me try actually locking all the rotations. Is that what I need to do? I might be needing to do all that. Oh yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, okay. So it kind of looks a little bit weird, but I feel like, let me go back to it. Maybe I unlock the Z. Maybe that's what it is. And this is gonna be in the recording and be like, this guy doesn't know what the heck he's doing. There we go, that looks better. I mean, it's a little weird because you're like flippy flopping, but there's ways to do that too, to sort of limit that. And now when I do this, right, it doesn't rotate. It's like there, and then I just set it down when I'm done. So like, oh, I got this cube, boom, it's down. Maybe it's also the Y. So you just mess with it. Let's see. Oh, I can mess with this too. I don't want to do any of that though. Cool. All right, go over there. All right, and launch. All right, so that's it. We're 8:12. What questions do you have? Does anyone need to see the screen again?
I actually have a question about my push box. So I gave it handles on all four sides earlier,
Yeah.
but the handles seem to be getting in the way of actually moving the box.
I'm
not sure how to make the handles move with the box right now.
So are you? So first thing I would check to see, okay. So the first thing I would check to see, are the handles a child of the interactive cube inside your interactive pushing cube.
I
blueprint.
thought I checked and made sure that they were, but apparently not.
Okay. So you got to make them children, and then it should behave the way you want it to. And I'm gonna just change
Yeah, I
the
think so.
change it to the Y value because that's where the handles are. And now it pushes the way I want it to.
I think I have the restricted axes on the wrong side
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, I had the same problem, so I just flipped it. So instead of X, it's going to be Y. Cool. So when we come back on Thursday, we're actually will add more to these, more logic to these cubes. So the first thing we'll do for this push-pull one is we'll probably add a trigger volume on each side of that push-pull, and maybe some blocks to block it from going further than that value that we want. And then actually, we might actually just make another blueprint. Well, that's probably what we'll do. Make another blueprint that has trigger volume in it, and it has a stopper, right? And then we'll just reference that, and we'll say, okay, did this cube that we're looking at right now enter that trigger volume? And if it did, then the puzzle is complete, right? They've done it. And maybe we'll put like 4 or 5 of these push pullers in a line, right? And so then the player has to figure out the correct combination. You know, like, does this one go down? Does this one go up? Does this one go down? Whatever. And maybe if we want, we can even have like 3 or 4 different spots. So, right. So like it could be up, it could be center, or it could be down, you know what I mean? And so like the player has to like figure out sort of like a toggle switch almost, like, okay, what does this, the first one needs to be, you know, and we can give them like a little bit of clues, you know, like we could say like 1C, 2B, 3T, you know, which would stand for like 1 would be in the center, 2 is in the bottom, 3 is in the top. And the player has to like figure out our like Morse code, quote unquote, for that one. The same idea for our rotation one, this one, right? So, right, the player will put 4 or 5 of them down. The player has to rotate them to sort of figure out, you know, what color it is, right? This one's going to be a little bit more complex because we need to know which color is the right one. So what we'll do is we'll do another line trace or another laser beam coming out of each color, and then we'll expose that value. And then if the line trace hits our blocking volume or whatever, right, then we'll say, yep, that's the right color. And we'll just expose each of the line traces, say, is it, you know, green, purple, yellow, or red? And the designer says, I want this rotation to be red. I want this one to be purple. I want this one to be green, and I want this other one to be purple, right? And then the same idea behind the code or whatever. We can do like PRB, whatever. Maybe it's music or something like that. Maybe instead of these green, yellow, or whatever, we do the musical scale, right? Like A, B, C. What is it? A, B, D, E, F, G, right? And so like have to figure it out. Like, oh, it's green, or I don't know what you would use for for the letter D. Maybe it's black for the letter D for dark or something like that. And then the last one would be our interactive pickup cube. And so we'll have to create a platform, just like the companion cube system in our Portal game, right? And if the interactive cube is on that platform, then the puzzle is complete. And once we do all that, then we have to create a door that we'll actually probably create 3 different doors that will check to see, did they complete the puzzle? If so, then we open the door. On the rotating one, it spins forever. There's will set up physics for air resistance to it. No, it should actually get the resistance from this guy right here. So if yours is spinning forever, let me see. Mine might be spinning forever too. I don't know. Let's see. Barrel. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. It is spinning forever. No. We'll have to figure that out. That's probably a bug.
Could you set something to lead off the rotation velocity?
Yeah, we'll have to do something like when the check to see if the player let go of it, and they did, reset the dampening. We might actually be able to like do this again. You know, just like stop moving basically. And I think I can do something like set was it set transform? Set world transform. Oh no, that's not going to work. And the reason that's not going to work is because I don't know where they dropped it, so that's not going to work. Okay, well I could try that, but I'm not sure that's going to fix the problem. It may be something that we just have to deal with. Spin. Yeah, see, it doesn't fix the problem. That's okay. We'll figure it out. And if it doesn't work the way we want, that's okay. We won't use it. It's fine. All right. Any other questions?
I had a question, but it was kind of on a different thing.
Okay.
Okay, so for some reason I was working these last 2 days on the what's it called? Stamina bar.
Mhm.
And every time I did it, the stamina, like the bar, the blue, would not go down every time. And I'm thinking, what the hell? What did I do?
Okay. So on the stamina bar, we'll go to our, let's see, where did we do it? Actually did we do it here? Don't remember if we did it in here.
We did it on the first blueprint.
Oh yeah, you're right. We did it in the character. By the way, if you haven't saved, it's a good idea to save. So I'm going to go here, save all. All right, so, and that did not work. So we'll just get rid of that. Okay, so let's go to our, and our stamina stuff. So when I press the button, it should be going down, right? So we press the button. The first thing we're going to do is if there is a plus or minus timer event going on, I'm just going to turn them off. Now, if there isn't one, these nodes don't matter, right? It doesn't do anything. But if there is one, we're just sort of resetting it, right? The next thing I'm doing is saying player can move fast now, right? And then next, I start the timer event. And this is just checking every second to tick away a value. So here's our custom event that we created for it. This is the things ticking time away. And I bet this is all correct. So you have your current stamina value, which I'm assuming you've already set to 1. We're checking to see, hey, did it reach 0? If it did reach 0, then we're stopping this timer event. We're stopping it. And then we're setting the player back to its normal walk value. If it hasn't reached 0 yet, then take some of it away and set that as its new value. So 100, 99, 98, 7, so on and so forth until it gets to 0. And visually show that on our HUD. Okay.
Well, no, I did all of that. All of that I did, but it's like every time I did afterwards and I clicked my sprint button, it would just not do anything. Like the bar would just stay. It would never lessen or increase.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, 1 second.
So I'll stop sharing mine, and it's probably going to crash again. So I apologize, guys. And for anybody else that needs help, by all means, stay and hang out. And if you want to learn more by hopefully solving Castille's issue, by all means, stay and hang out. But otherwise, the official quote unquote class is over, and I appreciate you guys listening and building this cool stuff. And I'll see you guys on Thursday for the rest of our puzzle elements.
Okay, have a good night, sir.
You too. See you guys.
Bye.
Yeah, bye, Hayden. So Castillo, I don't see your screen. I don't know what's going on.
Can you actually never mind. I'll let it go first.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what the heck was going on. It messed the Zoom just like crashed on me.
Yeah.
You're still recording too, sir.